more deeply consumed by the holy madness.
Yeah. But this is, acting is sacred, and damn it, you want to see people, actors, doing it for real. Like you, I don't know, it's just, you don't take it for granted. I know you're talented. We know where you come from. I don't know, your background, your stage background, but you never take, acting is something you cannot take for granted. And you're serious about what you do. Devoted.
It's a huge gift. I was talking to Elizabeth Kemp. We were up in the actor studio. We were both up in where the prop closets are, the props and the costumes and everything. We were up there, and I was like, "We're so lucky. We get to play all day long, you know." Yeah. And it's hard to do. Yeah, I mean, that's just what I want to do all the time. So that's what I've decided to create for my life. You know what I mean? It's just like I don't have room for a lot of other stuff because I find it not as interesting.
But you don't, I mean, you don't have time. You're a busy lady. Yeah. You don't have time.
But it's not like I don't have a real life. I have a very firm grasp on a real life. But it's just like I don't want to, you know, anything that's not going to support art is very uninteresting to me.
Right. Now, I wanted to ask you, because I saw Turning Page, The Best Man. What is specifically, like, how does it work? What time you go to bed, or what time you get up? What time do you write? What's the best time for you to work on? Like, what's the best time? What's the best hour?
I'm not a night owl anymore. I used to be. I used to be an insane party animal. I came out of the punk rock.
Yes.
You know.
I know about that. I heard something about that.
Yeah, I was a wild child. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So, but I recently, a few years ago, became very strict with myself because I realized that it was depleting. That kind of lifestyle was depleting my energy and also dimming my light.
Right.
And I actually had a little bit of some health issues that came up, and one of Deepak Chopra's doctors I worked with, she put me on a really strict Ayurvedic diet, and one of the things is you're supposed to be in bed by 10:30, and I'm like, sometimes I'm not off stage until then. But when I went on tour with August Osage County.
Oh, I missed that play, I gotta tell you, sorry.
It was 21 cities, 11 months.
Still Parsons?
Yes.
My girl?
Yeah. And I would come off stage and I'd go straight to the hotel, take a bath, and go straight to bed.
What?
You know, no winding down. You know what I mean? No alcohol.
No.
And then I'd get up about. I like to sleep in. You know, I like to sleep until I wake up. But what I do is I just try to go to sleep before midnight and then get up, you know, before 8. You know.
Now let me ask you: do you go to the theater often?
Yes. I try to see everything.
Okay, how picky, how difficult are you, Angelica Page?
How difficult?
Are you difficult to please?
You mean do I stay for? Do I not walk out of it at intermission?
Do you walk out? What do you do?
I would say about 3/4 of the time within the first act I get it, and I don't have to stay for the rest.
Okay.
I mean, I was watching. Well, yeah, and I get it, and I've said a lot of the plays I've seen. You know what I mean? So many of the plays are revivals, and it sounds, it might sound awful, but it's just that I've been watching theater, really great theater, from a very early age.
Many years.
I mean, when I was 10 in London, and my mother told this really fun story. I think I was 9 or 10. We were in London, and Albert Finney was playing Hamlet. He was a little old for it, but he was playing Hamlet.
Right.
At Stratford-on-Avon, I think. And we were in the first row of the balcony, and my mother had this coat that I loved, and he came on stage, and I just had to take a nap. So she wrapped me up in the coat, and she said she loved telling people the story that the minute I saw him, I was like, meh, and I went to sleep, and then I woke up for Ophelia's mad scene, watched it, and it was over, and I went back to sleep. So even at that age, I knew what I had to pick and choose. So like for me, I knew at 10 that Ophelia's mad scene was really the thing that I needed to pay attention to.
Right.
Because I had already seen Hamlet like 6 times.
Right.
You know, and then my father was about to direct himself in it with my mother playing his mother. You know what I mean? So it's like, I've seen a lot of theater for many, many, many years. So I can like, you know,
Quick.
Yeah.
What about Macbeth, Alan Cumming on Broadway?
You know, I didn't really get it. It wasn't my favorite. I'm sorry.
Angelica, you and me are going to have a disagreement.
That's okay. We can disagree.
Oh, I love it. What happened to you? You didn't.
I
you
just
it
didn't. I got bored.
You got bored.
I
Why?
checked
you think
out.
It was too much of a challenge for him to have such.
There was something that I didn't like. I didn't really feel that he was connecting to maybe the emotionality of the story in a real way because I just stopped listening. I watched all the amazing technical stuff. He's a genius. He's one of my favorite, stage actors.
Right.
But there was something about I stopped listening. I don't know why that was. But I think it's maybe he wasn't, I don't know, maybe it was a night when he just wasn't, maybe he wasn't deeply as connected as other nights or something, and maybe he was, because when people are slightly phoning something in, and I have to be really careful myself when I do a really long run of something, that maybe that's what I was picking up on. It was later in the run, and he'd been doing it for a long time, and maybe it was one of the performances where he wasn't completely, I don't know.
Right, interesting.
I mean, he was beautiful, and I just started to wander.
Why?
And,
That's interesting, because I loved Alan Cumming.
I love him too. I loved him taking all his clothes off and being covered in blood and getting in the tub and all that. I mean, then he put his clothes back on, then he took them all off again. It was great.
Oh my God.
But I didn't hear one word he said. I mean, I just wasn't hearing it, and I don't know why. I don't know.
Yeah, because you're tough. You're tough about the work. What do you expect from an actor when you're working with, when you're directing? What do you expect, Angelica?
I don't really like directing.
You don't like directing at all?
I do it, and I am about to direct a play that's based on a book by John Buffalo Mailer about John Buffalo and his father, Norman Mailer. Their family and my family has been intertwined for many, many, many years. Okay. Norman and my dad were very, very close, and enemies and friends. And
enemies and loving again.
Yes. Right. For many
years.
Yeah.
There's another show, another story.
But I saw it, and I saw a reading of it, and I just said, wow, I know exactly what to do with this. And my thing is mainly casting as a director, but then I like to get out of the actor's ways. What I like most about working with an actor, for instance, I just worked recently with Javier, who you saw work in session today.
By the way, today we were at the studio today, and what he did, what's the name of the play? I forgot.
Treatment.
Treatment, yeah. He was so exquisite. It's the first time I see him acting. I never seen him in my life, and I said, oh my God.
He's one of our new members, and
he became, remember, not too long ago, right?
Not too long ago. Javier Molina.
Javier Molina. Oh, now I got his name because I want to send him a friend request on Facebook, and hopefully he's going to accept it.
Well, we almost got arrested in Los Angeles because we were coming out of the studio and we were hanging out with a woman another studio member. She was staying in a hotel right next to the studio, the actor studio in LA, and he was like, "I want to do an animal exercise on you," because he had just seen me in Anna Christie, and he was just like, I was his favorite actress at that moment, and I said, "Okay," and he goes, he says something like, "I'm a pit bull." And he was like, don't resist me or it'll leave a mark. So anyway, he was like biting me and he had me in the bushes. And I just went dead because he said that, so I was just kind of like, and all of a sudden security shows up.
Oh my God.
And he's like, "Oh man, I'm Puerto Rican. I'm gonna go to jail."
We can tell you're Puerto Rican,
like
baby.
the blonde white girl. So
so
I stood up and I was like, "What's the matter? What?" And the security guard said, "I'm sorry, you're gonna have to come with me." I'm like, "We're not going anywhere." And he was like, "Oh no." And I said, "What?" And he said, somebody's been complaining. And I said, "Why?" Because someone was barking like a dog. So anyway, that started a great friendship. And then he and I worked together in session at the studio.
Oh, I missed that. When?
Yeah. It was a year or two ago. It was right when he became a member.
Okay.
And it was a very violent, very sexual, very fueled scene. And we didn't really rehearse very much of it. What we did is we spent a whole 2 hours. We only had 2 rehearsals. And we laid on the floor of the studio just on our backs. And we did our relaxation exercise. We just laid there for 2 hours, and that was but what we did is we laid there with each other, and that's how we built trust with each other. We just laid there basically in silence. Right. Really lightly holding hands like this, but laying on and just feeling each other's energy. And it was a really violent scene, and he said, "Is there, something that do we want to create a code in case, you think I go too far?" And I'm like, "Just go. You'll know. Go. I trust you." Right. And when Ellen Burstyn asked what we were working on, I said we were working on trust.
That's well said.
Yeah.
I don't like
And
when
he's-
actors give a long speech. I like the less you say, the better. 'Cause
Yeah.
You gotta, like fighters, you gotta let the fight, like my husband says, let the work do the talking,
Yeah.
right? Very special. Somebody came out and said that we have only 3 minutes. There's something happening October the 27th.
October 27th at the Metropolitan Room.
Yes.
It's a breast cancer research benefit. It's going to be the first time I've been on stage in a year. And I'm going to recount
come up
what's
and
been
see
going
you.
on with me the last year. I'm writing it right now. It's a cabaret variety show. I'm going to sing.
Oh, wow.
And I'm gonna
Yeah,
have some-
I know. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, we didn't show the pictures. You see, this is insane. It's 7:50. Look, I'm sorry to cut you off, Angelica, but look, I have it right here. Say, you sound like Stevie Nicks. I'm sorry, guys, can we get a close-up? I don't know if
But
you
if
guys...
anybody can go to angelicapage.com, and it's going to have all the information about everything that's going on with me. So
That's the pictures. That's
Yeah.
you.
yeah, that's
look
me in
just like
Turning
your
Page.
mother.
I know, it's fun, huh?
You look just like your mother.
And there's
Look at-
me with my mother and Kim Stanley.
And Kim Stanley.
Yeah.
And that is...
Backstage in an actor studio theater production of The Three Sisters that Lee Strasberg
I
directed.
this is